Alrighty guys, how you going? It's me, Dan, again. Welcome back to Hearns TV. And today I'm going to be speaking to you about another military model kit. And if you recall, the first one I did was on the Boeing FA-18 Hornet, the F model to be specific. Well, in this one I will be doing its close cousin, the EA-18G, but this one is called the Growler. And we have it right here. This is a 48 scale, so it's larger than the other one that I did, and this is by a company called Meng. Now this kit is excellent, and as you can see, the EA-18 shares so much in the design of the FA-18 Hornet. Actually, in actuality, it has more than 90% common parts. So the cost effectiveness of operating both planes is apparent, and it also helps to enhance the capability of the Hornet itself. The United States is the primary operator of the EA-18 Growler, and Australia as well operates 12 of them. I do believe that it was offered to Finland along with the advanced Hornet, the new model of the FA-18, but they decided to go with the F-35. Now, the differences are this doesn't have a main gun in the nose, and it is optimized for electronic attack. What it does is it jams enemy radar from long distances and even close distances, and it carries, as you can see here, the Hearns missile, which is high-speed anti-radar missile. These things fly usually ahead of the attack squadrons and knock out the enemy's radar, creating gaps and blind spots so that the fighters can move in and knock out the enemy targets without fear of being detected. Now, they chose the FA-18 as the base for the electronic attack because they needed to phase out the precursor to this plane, which was the EA-6B, the Prowler, which was based on the A6 Intruder. Now, they were good planes, but they couldn't keep up with the fighters, actually. They were much slower than the strike fighters, but this can keep up with them in every aspect of the mission. And unlike the Prowler, its predecessor, this can also carry the AIM-120 Advanced Medium Range Air-to-Air Missile for self-defense. And the Australian ones actually have been customized to be able to use the Sidewinder as well. Very, very impressive, very capable aircraft. So let's have a look at the kit, shall we? Once again, I would like to draw attention to the box and how attractive the picture is on the front. I know it's all about the kit and how well it goes together, but like I said, presentation really does go a long way. And if there's one thing about Meng, they do that with all of their kits. The boxes that they come in are always beautiful. The artwork on the front is just excellent, as you can see here. And this one comes with decals for the Australian Air Force as well as the American Air Force. So let's have a look at it, shall we? I open it, and here are the instructions. Let's have a quick look at the instructions before we go any further. Now, another thing with Meng is the detail that goes into the instruction books, so that give you the assistance in the process of how you put it together. I like how this is colored as well, and color coded, so you can see individual parts where they go, so stand out a little bit more, and it makes the process a little bit easier. Always a good thing, always a good thing. And what I wanted to see was the decal at the back. These are the decal patterns. It doesn't have the layout for the RAAF version of the decal, but that is easily found on the internet. So let's have a look at the kit itself, shall we? We'll start off with the fuselage, the underside, and the top. Now, as you can see, all of the lines of the aircraft here showed just how it pretty much identical to the combat version of the FA-18, the Hornet. Now, I would like to draw attention to all of the details here in the panels of the back of the fuselage, and even on the top along the the leading edge extensions and along the wings, the beautiful patterns in the details, like here, just in where the air intakes would be, just there. Excellent. And it's a good size kit too. This would sit very well in your display cabinet with all of your other model kits. Let's have a look at some more of the Growler. And once again, the angled air intakes, reducing its radar cross-section. I suppose radar cross-sectioning is less of a concern when you're jamming the enemy's radar. And the front part of the fuselage, where the nose and where the pilots would be. And here you have the flare dispensers, or the chaff and the flare dispensers, which would go at the rear of the aircraft. Now we move on to, I'll take these out. I'll turn that up the other way. Now the details on the underwing pylon here are where you have, this is where the weapon attachments would be, but not only the weapons, but the electronic countermeasuring and jamming pods that are carried underneath the wings. You can see the extreme detail here. Absolutely beautiful. Love it to death. Fuel tanks, and of course the turkey feathers at the rear of the aircraft, where the exhaust would come out of the jets. And you have the crew member there, and the second crew member there, the pilot and the rear seat operator. Move that over to the side. Now let's have a look at some of the interiors. Now, as you can see here, these are the jamming pods that would sit underneath the wings that were, probably should have told you earlier, but Boeing was the manufacturer of the Super Hornet and is also the primary manufacturer of the EA-18 Growler, but the additions to it were made by a company called Northrop. They were the ones that helped transform it into the electronic attack version from the full combat original version. Now, if you have a look here, these are the inside of where the landing gear would sit, and you can see all the cables and wires and all of the hydraulics. And then we have, for the front part of the nose wheel and even the landing gear there, the details, the effort, should I say, that Meng has gone to and put into this kit is really quite ever present. It's definitely something that serious aircraft modelers would enjoy tremendously. Watching this slowly come together as you're painting it, and as the finer details become more and more apparent as you're painting it, would be enormously satisfying to see. And now we have some of the ordnance here, and more of the control surfaces of the aircraft. Now here we have the HARM missile. The Growler can carry up to 4 HARM missiles, if I'm not mistaken. Now the HARM, or the high-speed anti-radar missile, actually targets the dish of the enemy radar installation, and not the actual box or the building or vehicle that it's attached to. So that way, the dish is the most fragile part of the radar. So even without a direct hit, that damaging it even partially can completely knock it out, so making it all the more effective. let's have a look at some more of the details. Move those over to the side, and here we have the cockpit where the pilot and the rear seat operator would sit, and the first of the AMRAAM. AMRAAM, Advanced Medium Range Air-to-Air Missile, and here we have the second one, the AIM-120. There are several variants of it. Now, the most recent one, I think, has a range, the air-to-air range of 85 kilometers, although I might be wrong in that. It's the primary medium range missile in Western service. There is missiles with longer range, like the Meteor missile as well. And let's have a look. And then we have more of the underwing jamming pods. Yes, very impressive. Lots of parts. I like aircraft kits that come with lots of parts, and they take a long time to build. There are a lot more involved than the small 48 scale is definitely my favorite, because it's one of the most involving with the maker, especially with fighters, because it's just that perfect size. Not that there's anything wrong with 72 scale, I'm not saying that, but they're not quite as big, so they usually don't have as many parts or as many smaller details to this extent. Move these over, and then we'll have a look at the last few parts. Now, here we have the last of the control surfaces, canopy, and some of the lights. And here we have the rear tail section of the aircraft. I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but on the Growler and on the Super Hornet, the vertical tail at the back is actually canted outwards, unlike on the F-15 and the F-14. And that actually helps to reduce its radar reflectivity from the side. Excellent little details in the design of these aircraft to prevent the enemy from detecting them from far or even close. Now, let's have a look at the decal. And here we have the decal for the US version with all the squadron markings and insignia and whatnot, but I'm more particularly interested in the RAAF version, so let's have a look at that. There we go. I'll just open this up, and here we have the layout for the Australian version of the Growler. Wasn't included in the instruction book, but they're nice enough to have it there. Even the insignia. And there you have the kangaroo within the roundels and the individual numbers, the individual aircraft numbers. Excellent. Very impressed with this kit, very impressed. I haven't purchased one myself, but I think I will give in to temptation and get one and add it to my now growing stash that I've managed to accumulate since working here. And yeah, excellent. All right, guys, thanks very much for tuning in again. And I hope you like this video, and look forward to seeing you in the store soon. And cheers, see you next time. Rock and roll.